Welcome to Chem 055. What you're seeing right now is a course list of a bunch of courses that I've taught in the past. The actual course number for this class is, actually it's not on the page yet. It's right here down here at the bottom. It's Chem A055 RWB 5137 201 402 51347. That's the course number. When you click on that, you'll come to the course homepage. It looks like this. It has announcements. I have this one announcement that I put up yesterday. All announcements will be emailed to you. If you're not receiving those announcements, it means that your email isn't current or your school email box is full. If you're not getting any emails, please send me an email, and also check your school account to make sure that you have the correct email. Now, if you look at this page, I haven't changed anything with the banner, but you can see it's got the course number at the top here, and then it's got all these things. You're always going to open up to the announcements page. The thing I do is I just start right at the top and go through all these. If you click on the syllabus, you'll see that under the syllabus there is this document, and there's also a semester schedule. It basically says when everything is due. I would click on both of these and make hard copies. I've got a hard copy sitting right next to me, and I can see on that our first assignment is actually due on the 25th. That's not very far from now. That's this Sunday, and that means you're going to have to get moving. Everything in this class goes so fast because we only have 10 weeks and we cover 12 chapters of chemistry. It's basically a year's worth of high school chemistry, so you really have to stay on top of things. So that's the first thing you do. Click on these and download these documents. The next thing you do is you can go to Contact Instructor. It's pretty basic. Just picture me. Maybe that was last year. I've grown up a little bit, but got my email, my phone number. Always better to ask questions on the class wiki as compared to here, as compared to email. But if it's something more of a private nature, you may want to do it through email. If I don't respond to you through email, you can try contacting me through my phone. Okay, the next one, so now I've gone syllabus and contact instructor. The next big thing is the materials. This is where you're going to get a lot of your material. Now, if you look in here, I've got lab reports, investigative reports, chapter 1 and 2, prereq skills, chapter 2, the first wiki, chapter 3, and unit 1 test. These are all in order of their due dates. This one is due on May 25th. The chapter 2 is due on May 30th. The first wiki is due on June 2nd. I don't have that written in here, I noticed, so I'll modify that. The chapter 3 material is due on June 3rd. You can see it's in here. I got May 25th, May 30th. This is June 2nd. Chapter 3 is June 3rd. And then on June 4th is our Unit 1 test. June 4th at midnight. So this is what's happening between now and June 4th. As I open up the Unit 2, it'll basically look just like this. It'll have 3 chapters in it. It'll have a wiki or 2. I think actually the second unit may actually have 3 wikis. But each one is where the wiki is where you're going to be adding all your material to. So what I would do is I would just go through and open each one of these, and I'm going to actually do that. It may do something kind of weird, but we'll look at it. So what I'm going to do is right now I'm going to look at the first really thing that's due. These first 2 things are always going to be at the top. These are things that you can add to the wikis. Lab reports, investigative reports. These are just some ideas of what you can do to get points that go to your wiki. If you're not sure what I'm talking about for points, you're going to need to refer to your syllabus. Okay, I'm not going to pull up the syllabus in the class. That's going to be for you to look at. But you can look in here and you can see that I have what the report format is and 7 labs. If I go back, you'll see that it says if you're planning on doing these labs, I would consider attempting them in order. If you try to do them out of order, it's not going to make as much sense. If there's another lab that really interests you that's related to the topic, remember if you're going to do anything for the wiki, it should somewhat relate to what we're doing at that point. That's good. The investigative reports are more along the lines of it says how it's scored. That's the first thing, and I've got 5 in here. These are pulled mainly from the textbook, and they're reading and a little bit of research you have to do outside of class, but those are also options for what you can do to get points to put to your wiki. And then you would open these up and it'd tell you what the format is, and you can look at the scoring rubric also to see how those are scored. So I'm going to go back now and see Chapter 1 and Prerequisite Science Skills. Now this folder contains all the work that's due by May 25th. This is your homework for this week, besides, of course, working on the wiki, which is due after Chapter 2. So you got Chapter 1, Prerequisite Science Skills, and Chapter 2, items that can be added to wiki number 1. So Chapter 1 and Prerequisite, if I click on this folder, you'll see that I've got just the reading. You need to read the Chapter 1 and Prerequisite Science Skills. You need to read these 2 chapters. I've also got these PowerPoints. There's no voiceover on these. I think they're pretty straightforward. You can click through them and they summarize what's in the reading in the chapters. Now you can open these up. Now the next thing is all of these chapter folders are basically formatted in the same way. It says all your homework is done through Mastering Chemistry. Here's a link to the spot. The big thing is once you've registered and you log into the class, you got to find our course ID, and it's right here. MC Steina 40548, excuse me. And then this bullet is taken out of every other chapter. It says complete the Mastering Chem introduction. It's not required, but if you want to be familiar with how to use the Mastering Chem website, I suggest you go through this intro. As it says, it'll help you familiarize yourself with how the website works, and then you have to complete the assignment, which is called Chapter 1 and PSS homework, and it's due by Sunday, May 25th. Everything deadline is midnight. And if you haven't received your Mastering Chem, then you need to get on that because you're running out of time. There's no time but like the present, especially in a course that only lasts 10 weeks and covers a year's worth of high school chemistry in those 10 weeks. So now I'm going to go back to the materials folder, and you see that that's there, and then there's Chapter 2, but that last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the wiki. Now the wiki is where we post anything, and if you look at your syllabus under the wiki, you can see that there are 8 wikis throughout the 10 weeks, and each wiki, it says wikis will be our main form of class communication throughout the semester. Besides, I'll put some videos on when people ask for help, or these little screencasts. They grade it on what you contribute. You can put investigative reports in there. You can get any found online sources, web pages that of course they need to relate to what we're talking about. Any asking questions, any comments you make to help other people out, any answering questions or anything else that you just say, hey, this really relates and this is what I'm learning and this will add to the learning of everyone. So if I click on wiki number 1, as it stands right now, there's only one wiki homepage created by me. Now, my suggestion to you is you can totally add anything to my wiki. All I've done is I just created this homepage and I haven't put anything in there. But if you'll notice, Amy and Priscilla have done one thing that I asked from the first email, which is just introduce yourself. Now this is a fine place to do it, but one thing I would say, and it'll also make it easier for me to grade, is you can always edit your own wiki content. You can edit my wiki content. It doesn't matter because these are all editable and I can see everything you do. But go to the top right here and create your own wiki page. Put all your stuff there. Anyone can look at your wiki pages and anyone can comment and or edit them. If you do anything, if you remove anything that's anyone else's material, that's going to be considered detrimental to the class and it'll also be detrimental to your grade. So don't do that. But you can look at all these, you can look at people's comments, you can make more comments on anything they put here. I haven't put anything in yet. I will put stuff in as I come across it also to help you guys out. Any bits of material that'll help you, I'll put in here also. Again, each one of these is 25 points and it's cumulative. If you do a little extra work and you get more than 25 points, I'll consider giving you more than 25. So just take that into account as you go through this. Now, so I've gotten all the way through the announcements, the syllabus, the contact instructor materials. I'm going to go back to my materials page and just look at it. Now, so right now we just have through the Unit 1 test. As we get more material, it'll just be put underneath this Unit 1 test, which is at the bottom down here. The next unit will have chapters. If I look at my course outline, Chapters 4, 5, and 6, Wikis 2, 3, and 4 will all fall before the Unit 2 test, and it will just be added and it'll be below the Unit 1 test. I'm not going to remove any material from this, except for I'll probably remove the Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and Chapter 3, but I'll leave the wikis up so people can go back and look at them at any time. There may be resources that we'll want to go back to, and I'll leave up the investigative report and the lab reports. And I'll probably pull the Unit 1 test once we're past it too, because all it is, it just tells you what you need to do and when your deadline is. So it will get streamlined, but there will be, this materials page will get longer as we do it, and newer material will appear at the bottom of this page. I may flip it at some point and start putting it at the top, but I'll let you know when that happens. So the one thing, your grades you can check here. This is where you get grades. You do get scored on Mastering Chem website, but this spot on the Blackboard is where your official grade is. I'll pull all the grades over for Mastering Chemistry for how you do on tests and on homework. There is a grade book over there, but that's not the official one. Right here, this My Grades is where you would go for your official grades. Now, the only thing that I've skipped, tools you can look at, course eval, that'll be something we do later in the year. If you want to email your class, you can email the class there. I suggest if you want to communicate with a class, though, you do it with Wiki. But the one thing I haven't done is the Blackboard Collaborate. That's where the office hours are. I have an office hour today at 6:30. It's 5:30 now. It's an hour from now. As I'm recording this will probably be put up in a half an hour, and I'll put it on as an announcement. But I'm going to click on this so you can see how to do it. It's pretty straightforward. If you click on Blackboard Collaborate, they're all listed here. You can see that this one is for Tuesday, May 20th. That's today at 6:30 p.m. You can log on at 6:15, no earlier than, and there'll be a little purple button here once it's available. Since it's not 6:15 yet, I can't click on this purple button. You click on that, you need to have a microphone and speakers or some variety. I use a headset because then you don't get as much feedback, and that is where you will go to if you want to come. Again, remember it's optional, but if you want to come and ask questions or do anything like that, I'm going to do a little bit more than what I'm doing here to give to you on this one. You don't have to be present for it, but what will happen is if you don't come to it live, you can still come to this Blackboard Collaborate page, and if you click on recordings, you see there's no recordings yet, but if I go back, once I'm done with this office hour, once I hit stop recording, it will become recording within an hour or so. So if you can't make it on Tuesdays, but you have time between the week, you may want to go and see if there's a recording. Will there be a recording every week? Not necessarily. This first week there definitely will be. Beyond that, it'll depend on if people show up for the office hour. I generally record those if people have questions, because if one person has a question, there's probably 3 or 4 that do. If you ask questions during the week that can't be answered within the wiki, I'll also answer those during the office hours. So you don't necessarily have to come to ask your questions. You can always ask them through the wiki. If they don't get answered on the wiki, I will answer them during office hours and make them recordings. So again, you have to change it to recordings by clicking there, and they'll be listed here, and you can click on them and watch them at your own pace. Pause if you miss something and record and rewind it to watch it again if you miss something. So as you can see, I've only got the first 5 posted. That'll take us to the first half of the course. I don't really split it by 5-week sessions. They do as the school does. There are 2 5-week sessions. I forget when the deadline for the first one is, but it's around June 20th or so, 23rd maybe, something like that. Okay. Well, I hope that was helpful. Again, this will be posted as an announcement. You'll see it on the announcements page.